The day Olivia Bennet discovered that her college fund had disappeared was the day she realized that some families are not afraid of their children failing. They are only afraid of their children succeeding without them. That afternoon, the small house in Spokane was filled with the warm glow of the setting sun. Olivia had just received her acceptance letter from the University of Washington. For years, she had studied late into the night, worked part-time on weekends, and saved every small amount of money she could, hoping to become the first person in her family to attend college. Her heart was still racing with excitement as she walked into the living room, but that happiness lasted only a few minutes. Her father, Frank Bennet, was sitting at the dining table with her older brother Dylan. The atmosphere in the room felt unusually heavy. Then Frank placed a stack of papers on the table. Dylan's auto repair shop was carrying a significant amount of debt. If they could not come up with money immediately, the business would be forced to shut down. Olivia froze when she saw the numbers. Before she could fully understand what was happening, her father calmly said something that made every sound around her disappear. "The money in your college account has been transferred to Dylan." No one asked for her permission. No one wanted her opinion. The decision had already been made. Olivia felt her throat tighten. It was not just money. It was years of sleepless nights. It was the tutoring sessions after school. It was every dream she had quietly held onto while the rest of the family insisted that girls did not need too much education. Dylan avoided looking at his sister. Frank repeated only one thing: family comes first. In that moment, Olivia realized that her future had just been traded away to save someone else's. And the most painful part was not losing the money. It was realizing that no one in that house had ever truly believed her dreams were worth protecting. 8 years passed. Spokane had become nothing more than a distant memory behind Olivia Bennet. No one in her family knew exactly what she had endured after leaving home. They did not know about the nights she slept on a folding chair in the storage room of a small grocery store. They did not know about the exhausting shifts that left her completely drained. They also had no idea that every evening, after returning to her tiny rented room, Olivia would open the old laptop her grandmother had once given her and teach herself coding through free online resources. Every line of code became a doorway to a future she refused to give up on. Years later, that door finally opened. Olivia built a successful software consulting company in Seattle. Her client list kept growing. Her team expanded year after year. At last her life became stable in a way she once believed would never be possible. Meanwhile, the Bennet family had almost no contact with her. Until one late autumn evening, her phone suddenly rang. The name on the screen made Olivia freeze. Sophie, Dylan's daughter. The teenager's voice trembled the moment the call connected. She had just been accepted to Oregon State University. But no one in the family was happy for her. Her father said college was a waste of time. Her grandfather Frank believed that girls did not need to chase ambitions that were too big. With every word Sophie spoke, Olivia felt as though she were listening to her own story from 8 years earlier. The same dismissal, the same invisible limitations, the same fear of having to apologize, simply for daring to dream. On the other end of the line, Sophie broke down in tears. She confessed that she had hidden all of her college applications under her bed for months because she was afraid her family would discover them. Olivia remained silent for a long moment. Then she asked a question that no one had ever asked her when she was young. "Sophie, what is it that you truly want?" The line went quiet. Because for the first time in her life, someone cared more about her dreams than the fears of her family. 3 months after that phone call, Olivia Bennet returned to the house she had left nearly a decade earlier. Everything seemed exactly the same. The old walls, the familiar dining table, and the people who had never truly believed she could succeed. That evening's dinner began with an uncomfortable silence. Frank kept talking about family responsibility. Dylan complained about a new wave of financial problems. And Sophie sat quietly at the end of the table, looking exactly like Olivia had years ago. Then the subject of college came up. The atmosphere changed instantly. Dylan insisted that the family could not afford it. Frank coldly stated that a girl did not need to burden herself with debt just to chase unrealistic ambitions. With every word they spoke, Sophie lowered her head a little more. But this time, she did not have to fight alone. Olivia slowly placed a folder in the center of the table. Every eye immediately turned toward her. Dylan opened it first. Then Frank. The confidence on their faces disappeared almost instantly. Full tuition, housing expenses, books, living costs. Everything had already been paid in full. The room fell silent. Frank stared at his daughter in disbelief. Dylan tightened his grip on the folder. "What exactly are you trying to prove?" he asked. Olivia looked directly at her brother. Her voice was remarkably calm. "I am not trying to prove anything. I simply refuse to let history repeat itself." Sophie burst into tears. Frank did not say another word. For the first time, he realized that the power he had once used to control others had disappeared long ago. A few months later, Sophie walked through the gates of her university with a bright smile on her face. Olivia watched from a distance. And for the first time in many years, she understood something important. The greatest victory is not making the people who hurt you regret their actions. It is using those very wounds to create a better future for someone else.